most popular comic book in the world today is coming to life. Sneak preview of X-Men this Saturday morning on Fox.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not.
Hey, this is Pops, and welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. Aren't you having fun? So many of you have contacted me. You're talking to me about rewatching these cartoons, talking to me about other cartoons. You're having a blast. It was something that was part of my routine growing up, even into my teen years, young adult years, college, even when I had my own kids. It's something that's really been a part of my life. And as we get kind of middle aged and we have our kids older, it seems like something that kind of falls to the wayside. So I've kind of really enjoyed doing this. And of course, I love revisiting these shows. It's hard to believe this episode of X-Men animated series actually dropped in 1994. So we've kind of gone through all of the 93s and now we're into this. So we're getting close to the end of their season 2. So it's really kind of cool. This one is called Mojovision, and we get Mojo. Now, Mojo on the surface, this episode seems like a super silly mess. Like it's just goofy, it's weird. We don't know who Longshot is. You don't know what Mojo is. Where are they? Actually, there's a great line where at the I think it's at the end of the episode where Scott Cyclops like, can someone just tell me what just happened? And I think that's really really brilliant. But here's the thing: there are things that are in the comic books that don't really adapt well. We saw this with MODOK and Ant-Man. MODOK is like a really strange, weird thing in the comic books. So the fact that you're going to try to include it in other media is weird and strange and hard to pull off. Now, with all of that said, I hopefully you enjoyed Mojovision as much as I did. I had a good time, which in some ways is a big compliment to something like this because Longshot came around, more recently. It wasn't something that had been around, a long time. And then I think once it got to I think it's X-Men issue, I think it's issue 10. And this is where Longshot kind of become the bigger deal, right? It wasn't really then. Yeah, his miniseries was kind of popular, but it's the crossover with the X-Men around issue. It's stuff that leads up to issue 10. Then of course he's on the cover of issue 10. Now the story just centers around Mojo, who is this interdimensional creature that basically is the carnival barker running producers of a TV show and getting ratings and all of that. And he's got this main character. His name is Longshot. He's rocking the mullet and all the cliches. And I don't know about you, but I'm happy that Ann Nesenti and Art Adams' creation, because this stuff got knocked around a little bit. No one wanted to do all this. And I'm really happy that this actually got included. It's got comedic music. The stuff is just gag. He's like this big, cheesy, blobby, almost like, Jabba the Hutt meets the clown from, John Leguizamo's The Clown in the Spawn movie with like a little bit of Trump, a little bit of that, it's just like, it's crazy. He refers to Earth as this backwater dimension because he's going to go and steal the X-Men for ratings, basically. Their TV ratings are slipping. They're having a hard time doing this. They have this multi-armed character. Her name is Spiral, and she's able to open like a portal that kind of sucks them into Mojo world, right? So that's kind of what happens. They're all out at like a normal 90s TV store, and this is what happens. And once they're there, they all get split up into their own little parodies, their own little spoof shows, right? So Cyclops and Storm are in like the Miami Vice show, Miami Mutants. Rogue and Beast are in like the sci-fi Star Wars science fiction Rogue Star, right? And of course, the best. It's the freaking best. Jean Grey and Wolverine are in I Dream of Jean, and you're just like, I don't know about anyone else, but I want a whole lot more of I Dream of Jean parodies going on because that is funny. And you do see just a little bit of Longshot being relevant. He talks about seeing the control room, and so he's a little bit relevant, but he really doesn't get his time to shine. He doesn't really get to be part of things in the grand scheme. It's it's also like a filler episode because we're coming up on the end of season 2 and how that will wrap up, which we'll get to in a second. I think that it was interesting to see how Jean kind of comes up with her ideas that oh, these are machines, so they can be controlled. We can cut the cameras off, which will alienate the audience, create chaos. And then as Longshot frees them, then they can fight, and they can really push back, and that allows for all these equipment to be destroyed and everything like that. And I will say, there are just these great moments and homages to reality TV, manufactured TV, the arrogance of producers, the treatment of quote the talent, right? Because immediately, when all that happens and they end up in their own dimension, right? Um, Mojo's already sucking up the long shot. We can get you back. You'll be in a new slot, a new dimension, whatever. Maybe not, maybe less money, but it's all of that super sleazy Hollywood stuff that everyone kind of knows exists more now because of social media than we knew then. I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the fact that we got to just see a piece of the X universe that is really, really strange, right? Because this is kind of what we've seen pieces of this with the MCU. Like when they adapted the Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of us were like, "How are you going to pull that off?" Right? And it's not tied to the comics nearly as much as people think it is, right? How are they going to adapt, this piece and that piece? So this was a fun little thing to see it move to this element of the media, and it's really a fun episode. Now, the way the episode closes sets up the close to season 2. I kind of mentioned that's coming to an end. I've not been a big fan of how the Savage Land has been handled pretty much through the whole season. It dates back now multiple episodes where Magneto and Professor X are trapped on this place where they don't have their powers. They've come into conflict with different other creatures that date back to, decade old Uncanny X-Men comic books. And here we see Sauron, who's attacking this girl. They don't know her name. Her name is Shauna the She-Devil. They think they're going to race to save her, but Magneto's like, no, 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 that's Sauron. Like, she's very dangerous. And of course, that's exactly what happens. She gets captured, and we're going to see that she's being brought to the lair of Mr. Sinister. And it's going to set up a 2-part season finale, which we will talk about next week as part of the close to season 2 of X-Men animated series. So hopefully you guys are having fun. This is definitely a fun episode. I'm not saying it's a great episode, good episode. It's a lot of fun. I will say that in the grand scheme of season 2, it's definitely one that kind of it's kind of off by itself. It almost doesn't fit the tone of the season. Remember when I was like being critical of some of the jokes and gags in season 1, like the Juggernaut episode or things like that? This has a lot of those kinds of elements to it. But it works here way better than those did. And I think that's kind of what and it's also showing the improvement of the show over time. So tell me what you guys think. We'll throw some commercials at you. Again, 30 minutes from now when this started, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, Batman animated series. So fun stuff. Love hearing from you. Things that you want to see, want to watch, want to hear about. Got stuff in the works for next time. We'll talk to you then. I'm Pops.
We'll return to our program after these messages.
The Kid Super Power Hour.
Once the timer is set, it's just you against the clock.
So you can run, 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 run. Run yourself ragged. So you can run, 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 run.
When moments are ticking away, something has got to run out first, the clock or you.
So you can run yourself ragged.
Run Yourself Ragged by Domi.
Lots of American kids are discovering soccer. It's a real kick. But to be good, you've got to use your head. That's why we made the soft Nerf soccer ball. It makes those unexpected hard shots soft. And because it's kid-sized, it's easy to play with. Whether you're playing a fast game, practicing the important shots, or just horsing around. Also available, Nerf Hoop, Nerf Ball, and Super Nerf. The Nerf Soccer Ball from Parker Brothers.
There you are. Carrots for your dinner.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hope you'll be careful and not let you-know-who get them.
You gotta be kidding. Don't you worry, Mr. Green Jeans. They're safe with me.
Now, on your breakfast table, Donkey Kong brand cereal.
Crunchy berries of fun for breakfast. Donkey Kong cereal.
The sweet, crunchy corn taste will drive you ape.
You love the crunch. Donkey Kong cereal. Crunchy berries of fun for breakfast.
It's part of this complete breakfast.
Donkey Kong cereal. You love the crunch.
What do you want to call your cookies, Mr. Keebler? Chips what?
Well, let's see. The chips are big.
Chips big.
Wait, they're soft, too.
Chips soft.
Our chocolatey chips are so big and soft, they practically melt in your mouth. We put them in cookies made with real eggs and brown sugar. So we need a name that's special.
Call them Chips Deluxe.
Chips Deluxe.
That's special, or my name isn't Cecil B. Deluxe.
Chips Deluxe with big, soft, chocolatey chips.
Alfie, the bees are missing from alphabets.
Nasty McEvil again.
Get him, Alfie.
Post-alphabet cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast. It's doggone good.
Rainy day.
Wait a second.
Here's an animal alphabet poster and stamps from A to Z.
Zebra.
A poster and one of 2 sets of stamps in specially marked boxes of post-alphabet cereal for rainy day or any day fun.